Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to take your source material and distill it down to the essential, fascinating insights you need to know.
And today we're really wrestling with a profound ethical tension.
It's one that any mission-driven organization has to face, right? Ministry, evangelism, they require significant resources. We're talking staff, time, technology.
Absolutely. But the core message itself, the gospel, well, that has to remain priceless. It has to be freely given.
It's a real tightrope walk.
It is. So we're doing a deep dive into the critical role of financial ethics and, meticulous stewardship in ministry.
Yeah, the focus is on avoiding what the source material pretty pointedly calls religious extortion.
Yeah, that phrase has massive implications for an organization's reputation and really its purity of mission.
Religious extortion. It just hits so hard because it speaks directly to, the erosion of public trust. So our mission today is to unpack this. We're going to look at how early leaders navigated it, analyze some practical financial boundaries.
Like those set by leaders such as Ironside.
Exactly. And then we'll explore the surprising realities of how ministers are compensated in different parts of the world. And finally, see how this commitment to a free gospel is playing out in the digital age.
And to really set the foundation for this, we have to start with the Apostle Paul.
Okay.
Specifically, 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 18. Paul asks this crucial rhetorical question about his own ministry. He asks, "What then is my reward?"
And what's his answer?
His answer was to ensure that when he preached the gospel, he made it available without any financial impediment.
So the reward for the messenger is making sure the message itself is free.
Exactly. The message flows unhindered by cost. That's the reward.
That immediately sets up a really high-stakes scenario. I mean, if the message is a free gift, then the messenger can't become the toll booth.
Right.
But where does that friction even start? Because the sources show this suspicion of mercenary motives goes way back.
Oh, it's a persistent generational challenge.
Yeah.
The sources point out that today, just like in the past, a lot of non-believers just assume spiritual leaders are engaged in some kind of religious extortion.
They just suspect they're trying to profit off people.
Yeah, off of sincere, maybe innocent people. And that suspicion, it often stops them from ever even listening to the message in the first place.
And what's so fascinating is that the sources track this distrust right back to the very earliest days of the church. This isn't just a modern critique of, televangelists.
Not at all. We see the first example in Acts chapter 8 with Simon the sorcerer.
Right.
He witnessed the genuine power of the Holy Spirit, and his immediate reaction wasn't spiritual awe. It was commercial calculation.
He thought, I can buy this.
I can acquire this gift with cash. And the rebuke he got from Peter was, it was severe. Peter told him his money would perish with him. It just highlighted this absolute wall between money and spiritual gifts.
A powerful early warning. But the sources also point to an even more dramatic, devastating example. The one that hits closer to internal integrity.
Ananias and Sapphira, Acts chapter 5.
And their destruction wasn't about failing to give enough money, was it? It was something much deeper.
Precisely. Their sin wasn't keeping a portion of the proceeds from the sale. They were totally free to do that.
Okay.
Their error was lying about it, lying about their intention, their devotion. They wanted the reputation, the honor that came with being radically generous.
Well, holding back for their own comfort.
Yeah, they put material gain and social standing above truth, above integrity within this brand new community.
So it was deception, and it was targeting the very foundation of the church's financial trust.
Yes, and their immediate terrifying destruction just underscored how seriously God and the early church viewed this kind of corruption. It established that integrity with money, with your motive, was foundational.
If your financial behavior undermines the message of truth, the whole mission is compromised.
The whole thing.
So those historical warnings, they really set the ethical stakes. The question then becomes, okay, practically speaking, how do modern leaders make sure that money never becomes that barrier that turns a new seeker away?
It requires setting some absolute boundaries.
Yeah.
And one of the clearest historical examples we have comes from Dr. Ironside.
At Moody Church, right.
During his 15 years leading Moody Church, his contribution policy was brilliantly strategic.
So here's where it gets really interesting. Tell me the boundary. What exactly did he say during the offering?
His rule was explicit, absolute. When the plate was passed, Ironside asked for contributions only from those who were already committed believers in Jesus Christ.
So the offering was a responsibility, a privilege of the faithful.
Yes, and the crucial flip side was that any non-believers in the service were specifically told not to contribute.
Which seems so counterintuitive from like a budget perspective.
It does, but think about the message it sends. He would tell them, "We have a gift we want to give to you, which is the gift of eternal life through Christ. We want you to receive that gift without condition or cost."
Wow. So he was actively stripping away any transactional element. He didn't want the act of giving money to feel like a prerequisite for faith.
Not at all. It's incredibly strategic. It transforms the offering time from a potential barrier into this profound reinforcement of the message of free grace. It tells the seeker, the most important thing we offer is free, and we don't need your money to give it to you.
So this one practice, it really does two critical things.
It does. First, it honors the idea that contribution is a responsibility for those already on board with the mission.
Right.
And second, crucially, it prevented non-believers from feeling any kind of financial pressure that might cause them to reject the gospel just because they felt like they were being targeted for their wallet.
But doesn't that strategy present a problem of, scalability? Can a modern megachurch with a huge budget and a TV platform afford to tell a stadium full of people, please don't give money?
That's a fair challenge. I think the sources suggest that while the method might have to change, the principle has to stay firm.
The principle of non-hindrance.
Exactly. For bigger organizations, maybe that translates into radical transparency about where every single dollar goes, making sure no request for funds ever feels like coercion. It's about the principle, even if the logistics are more complex now.
So that's the boundary for the seeker. Now let's pivot and look at how leaders themselves embody that non-mercenary spirit, because compensation is a huge part of this.
It is. And the sources contrast the Western stereotype of the religious extortionist with the reality in a place like Taiwan.
What's fascinating right away is just the terminology.
Yeah, the terminology is different. In the Taiwanese Christian context, a pastor's pay is rarely called a salary. It's respectfully referred to as an honorarium. The word is ziegel.
An honorarium. So that shifts the perception from just a contractual payment to more of an appreciative acknowledgement of service.
That's the idea. And the economic reality for a lot of ministers in, say, rural Taiwan, it reinforces that idea of dedication.
The sources highlight pastors in eastern Taiwan in these less developed, more rural areas like Hualien and Taitung.
And that's where the sacrifice becomes really tangible. A lot of these pastors receive only between 70,000 and 40,000 TWD a month.
And for context, 40,000 TWD, that's well below a standard living wage in a big city in Taiwan.
Oh, absolutely. It requires genuine frugality, often deep personal sacrifice, to raise a family on that kind of money.
But doesn't that low pay create its own set of ethical risks? I mean, does it put so much financial pressure on a minister's family that it could lead to burnout or compromise?
That's a really essential point. And the source material seems to suggest that, yeah, the pressure is real, but the data points to the outcome.
Which is?
Many of these individuals stay in those difficult areas for 5, 10, even 20 or more years.
Wow.
And that long-term commitment, despite the clear economic hardship, sends this powerful, unshakable message to the community that their motivation is a calling, not money.
So their persistence, their sacrifice, it functions as proof. It's the strongest defense against that charge of being transactional.
It is, and because of these simple, dedicated lifestyles, non-Christians in Taiwan are just generally less likely to see pastors as these mercenary figures trying to exploit them.
They just see them as simple, dedicated workers.
Committed to their community, yeah.
Okay, that brings us back to the internal controls. If leaders have to prove their commitment externally through sacrifice, they have to prove their integrity internally through really rigorous stewardship.
This is where the source material draws a very sharp, very important distinction between two types of money management.
Detail that first.
Okay, so first there's personal money. This is money you earned, and you can treat it, more casually. If you want to invest it in something risky, spend it lavishly. That's your call, you control it.
But then there's church money, which the sources call God's money, or money for holy work.
Exactly. And this money has to be handled with extreme, almost obsessive caution.
Finely calculated precision is the phrase they use.
It is. And that's not just about good bookkeeping. It means implementing structures, multiple signatures, financial committees, external audits, rigorous reporting, all to ensure there's absolutely no loss, no misuse, not even the appearance of impropriety.
So the goal isn't just financial accuracy, it's radical transparency to maintain the trust of everyone who contributed.
It's all about accountability and trust. A leader who is cavalier with the community's shared sacrificial resources immediately undermines their moral authority. Meticulous stewardship is just non-negotiable.
Okay, so this whole principle of the free gospel is now being applied radically in the digital age, using tech to get maximum reach with zero financial barriers. This is where North Plain Church's strategy comes in.
This is a textbook modern application.
Yeah.
So North Plain Church, or BPA Jawi, they actively produce digital content programs like the Gospel Refrigerator, other online discussions, and they do it with a singular commitment to accessibility.
And their monetization-free model is it's uncompromising. Walk us through their rules.
Their rules are pretty extreme. Absolutely no ads interrupting the content.
None.
Zero. No membership fees to access any material, no requests for donations or offerings embedded anywhere in the programs. They even close their discussion forums to prevent any hint of commercial solicitation.
But how do you even do that? How do you maintain quality and consistency with a zero monetization model? It sounds completely unsustainable.
They do it through what you could call resourceful minimalism. They rely heavily on AI, on free software. They source free licensed music and videos. They keep hardware costs near zero.
The source mentions the speaker's audio is literally recorded using the mic on a free headset.
The one that came with another device.
Yeah, that's dedication to the point of structural sacrifice. They're prioritizing distribution over everything: profit, production values, even fame.
Their singular, explicit goal is only to share the gospel of Jesus Christ. It's a 21st century application of Paul's whole ethos, removing every possible monetary impediment so that the content itself is the gift.
It just shows that high-impact digital ministry doesn't necessarily need a Hollywood budget.
It needs ethical commitment.
What this whole deep dive has reinforced for me is just the enduring wisdom of that original commitment set by Paul. The mission is fundamentally about building trust through radical restraint.
Yeah. Transmitting the message so people can receive it without paying, making sure the messenger never becomes the barrier.
The reward for the messenger is just the unhindered spread of the message.
And we've seen it reinforced everywhere, from Ironside's contribution boundary all the way to the low honorarium of a dedicated Taiwanese pastor.
And if the core insight here is that radical transparency and a willingness to give freely builds this unshakable trust following that principle the sources call white gained, white given away, this leads to a powerful final thought for you, the listener.
The question is this: where in your professional or your personal life could you apply this kind of radical transparency? If knowledge or faith or information is offered to you at no financial cost, what non-monetary resource are you then compelled to share freely?
How might you pay that forward? With your time, your skill, or maybe just by freely giving away credit to build the kind of trust that goes beyond any transaction?
Something to consider as you apply these lessons this week.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us on the Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.